Have you noticed someone in your life who used to be everywhere, every group chat, every hangout, every birthday, and then without any explanation, they just stopped showing up? No fight, no dramatic exit, they just went quiet. Most people call this growing distant, but if you look closer, a strange pattern shows up again and again. The people who disappear like this are often the sharpest, most self-aware people in the room. And once you understand why, you'll probably recognize the same thing happening in your own life. Reason 1. They stop mistaking attention for connection. At first, everyone's relationships look the same from the outside. Group chats, weekend plans, long phone calls that go nowhere in particular. But highly self-aware people eventually notice something. Being included isn't the same as being understood. A room can be full of people and still feel empty if none of them actually know you. Psychologist Dunbar's research on social relationships found that people can only maintain meaningful, close relationships with a small number of people, usually far fewer than the number of people in their social circle. Most of the people we call friends fall outside that inner layer entirely. Once someone notices this gap between the size of their social circle and the depth of it, they start making a quiet decision. They stop spreading themselves across dozens of shallow connections and start protecting time for the few that actually matter. From the outside, that looks like withdrawal. From the inside, it's editing. Reason 2. Social interaction starts costing more than it gives. Here's something less talked about. Paying close attention to people is tiring. Psychologists who study self-monitoring, the habit of constantly reading tone, body language, and unspoken intent in a conversation, have found that people high in this trait spend far more mental energy in social situations than people who take conversations at face value. That means two people can sit through the exact same dinner party and walk away with completely different amounts of energy left. One person heard words, the other heard words, noticed the pause before the answer, clocked the change in tone, and quietly filed all of it away. Over time, this adds up. Socializing stops being something that recharges them and starts being something that drains them, especially in groups where the conversation stays surface level. So they start being more selective. Not because they dislike people, but because low-depth interaction has a real cost, and they started noticing the bill. Reason 3. They stop taking other people's behavior personally. There's a shift that happens when someone starts to understand psychology, even informally. They stop assuming other people's reactions are about them. The colleague who is short with you might be dealing with something at home. The friend who cancels last minute might be overwhelmed, not uninterested. The person who criticizes your choices might be watching you do something they were too afraid to try. This idea isn't new. Carl Jung wrote about the concept of projection, the idea that people often attribute their own unresolved feelings and insecurities onto others without realizing they're doing it. Once you understand projection, arguments and slights start to look different. Less like personal attacks, more like other people working through their own stuff, out loud, in your direction. This doesn't make someone cold. It makes them harder to provoke. And people who are hard to provoke often get accused of not caring, when really they've just stopped reacting to things that were never actually about them. Reason 4. Solitude stops feeling like a punishment. For most of our lives, we're taught that being alone is something to avoid. Empty weekends feel like failure. Silence feels like something's wrong. But there's a well-documented shift that happens for some people, usually gradually. Solitude stops feeling like isolation and starts feeling like relief. Research on solitude by psychologists such as Thuy-vy Nguyen has found that time spent alone, when it's chosen, not forced, is linked to lower stress and better emotional regulation, not loneliness. The key word is chosen. This isn't about avoiding people out of fear. It's about noticing that some time spent by yourself is actually restorative. Once someone experiences that difference, they stop scheduling their life around avoiding empty time. They start scheduling protected time on purpose, to think, to read, to simply not perform for anyone. To everyone else, an empty Saturday looks like loneliness. To them, it's maintenance. None of these 4 things happen overnight, and none of them are really about intelligence in the way people assume. They're about noticing the gap between 2 things: how much energy a relationship or interaction costs you, and how much it actually gives back. Most people never do this math.
They keep every relationship on the books out of habit, obligation, or fear of being seen as difficult. Self-aware people, not necessarily smarter, just more attentive to their own patterns, eventually do the math and start cutting the relationships that don't balance out. From the outside, that looks like disappearing. From the inside, it's closer to quitting a job that stopped paying you. So if you've recently pulled back from group chats, stopped forcing conversations that go nowhere, or started guarding your weekends more carefully, that's not necessarily a red flag. It might just mean you finally ran the numbers. The real question isn't whether you're becoming distant, it's whether the people and time you're keeping are actually worth what they cost you. If this made you think about your own circle differently, subscribe. There's more where this came from. And in the comments, I want to know, has anyone in your life quietly disappeared like this? Or have you been the one doing the disappearing? See you in the next one.